few quick facts. Inflation is a private Snafu cartoon from 1944. This is directed by Osmond Evans, and I don't have too many thoughts on this. It is very short. It's less than 2 minutes, but it did make me think about something I'd never considered before. It is about inflation, as one can imagine, and we have a very brief look at what happens when Snafu and other soldiers buy things when they're overseas in a different location. And then it looks at what happens to the economy once they've done that, and then what is left behind for the people who actually live there, the residents of that location. And I'd never really considered that before, and I thought that to be quite fascinating. What I will say is that while it plants the seed and makes people think about these things, I don't think it's actually tremendously helpful. I don't think it provides a lot of information. So I feel like for soldiers to watch this, a few quick facts were made to be educational for soldiers. They would need more information to really understand why they were being given this information and what action they need to take or what they need to avoid doing. So on its own, it's quite thought-provoking. The pacing is really good. The movement of the animation is great. We have Snafu with money, and then he goes and buys things, and then we see more characters, and we have numbers on screen, and things are getting bigger as inflation happens. Visually, it's not too bad. And as I said, it does plant that seed to make the viewer start to think about these things, as it did with me. I'd never considered this before, but there's not enough information in it to be truly useful. I don't know exactly how these were presented, these cartoons, if there were documents, paperwork, anything else to supplement these. I assume that would have been the case. On its own, though, probably not that helpful, but nevertheless, it's relatively interesting. If you haven't seen it and you're a fan of Private Snafu, certainly, then I'd say it's worth checking out. But it's also something that I think is just interesting to think about. I'd never considered it before, and it's something that I thought was pretty fascinating, if not perhaps the most useful on its own.